You know what I mean? It's like today I'm not held hostage by alcohol. You know what I mean? I have daughters that have children of their own, and they still drink. They can, I can't. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? I don't go in the crack house to light my cigarette, and I don't go into a package store to play a lottery ticket. I don't go where I don't belong. I've been in package stores. I have bought. I have sat with my wife while she drank. I've sat with my kids. I've been at weddings. It's okay. For a long time, I couldn't understand how they could and I couldn't. Like Vladdy said, I can't. I pick up one, it's all over. That's all it takes. You know what I mean?
Bless you.
And but anyway, you know, long before I ever picked up a drink, I was a liar, a stealer, and a cheat. You know what I mean? I had all those defects before I ever picked up, and alcohol just diagnosed what I had. You know what I mean? I heard so many times people telling me, you know something, Joe, if you just applied yourself, you'd be okay. You know what I mean? The best way to describe me was like, I was like that horse that would come bolting out of the gate and I would fade down the stretch. I never had enough to get over, you know what I mean? I settled for less. You know, less was best. And, you know, when I was getting out of high school, you know, they would ask you, the counselor, they'd say, like, Joe, what do you want to do when you get out? And I had friends going off to college, I had friends getting married, they were going off to the Vietnam War. I had no plans. I was ill-equipped for life. I had no tools, nothing, and it was okay. You know, I just didn't really care. And when I got out of high school, I got a small little job, menial job. But my real first drink of alcohol, I was 18 years old, and in a blackout in the Chelsea jail. That's where I wound up at 18, and. I decided to do my first geographical. I decided, you know, something, maybe I'd just go in the service. You know, I mean, that'd be a good idea. I found out, you know, I found a lot out by coming to Alcoholics Anonymous about myself. You know, and I just took myself somewhere else. That's all I did. And when I was getting out of the service, just like I was getting out of high school, they asked me the same question. They said, Joe, what are you going to do when you get out? Once again, clueless. No clue what I was going to do. I had no ambition. I had no goals, no dreams. I had nothing. And I had zero. And I was okay with that. I mean, I was okay with living like that. And I mean, just getting by on the menial little stuff every day was fine by me. Everybody else was just passing me by. You know, I come to find out, you know, I used to get mad at people that were doing the things. And mad that they were doing things. It wasn't that I was getting mad that they were doing things. I didn't know how to do what they were doing. You know what I mean? And I come to know today that, you know something? They made the decisions, I didn't. And I made bad decisions. And but anyway, I got out of the service early on, you know, in the early 70s. I got out of the service and, you know, I had a nice little pocket of change. And I can tell you, I say it's kind of repetitive, but, you know, AA has taught me, you know, that I had nothing inside. So everything I had was outside stuff. It was material stuff. You know, there was money, car, clothes, didn't matter. That stuff mattered. See, what you thought of me was more important than what I thought of myself. You know what I mean? And I longed for acceptance. You know what I mean? It's like I wanted to be the center of attention, but I never wanted to be called on. You know, and when I got out of the service, like I said, I had a lot of money. I had saved up. And I should have known the early signposts talk about drinking. You know what I mean? I almost missed my bus in the service because people were drinking and they would be going back to the barracks and Joe would still be there. You know what I mean? And consequences. You pick up a drink and pay the consequences for it. You know what I mean? And I was okay with that. But when I got out, like I said, I had a nice little pocket of change. You know what I mean? It was all about me. You know, nice threads, nice brand new car, pocket full of cash. What else could you ask for? Life was good. Life was really, I thought this was what life was all about. Little did I know, I knew nothing about nothing. And a couple of years after being out of the service, I can tell you, backstep for a second here, in my house where I grew up, there was no lovey-dovey kissy face. There was no emotions being shown. You know what I mean? Everything was like close to the hip. Everything that you wanted to talk about, you kept it inside. And those are the tools. See, I learned about settling for less. I learned about all this kind of stuff that was negative in my life. That's the kind of tools that I was brought up on, that I brought out into the adult world. And I thought that was okay. You know what I mean? And but a couple of years after getting out of the service, I used to hang down the beach in Revere a lot. You know what I mean? Because during the 70s, for some of you that can remember, during the 70s for me, it was like one big drink, one big party. You know what I mean? The definition of getting dressed up to get messed up. You know what I mean? If you told me on Monday that there was a party or something going on Friday, I was already there. You know what I mean? And what it was, like I said, I was at this place in the beach, and I had a couple of drinks, and I was heading on home, and in walked this girl. And I got to tell you something. Walter Dyer once told me, he says, this is a disease of the emotions, and I did not know the emotion of love. I did not know how to love somebody. But I saw her, and I was in love. You know what I mean? And when I met her, I had no money. But I can tell you one thing, guys, I looked pretty freaking good with no money. You know what I mean? What she saw is what she got. You know what I mean? She very nicely told me. She said, I said, I would buy you a drink. I said, but I got them little short-changed. And she says, I'll buy you one. I'm still married to her today. She's not buying me any drinks, I can tell you that. She'll buy me a lot of other things, but she ain't buying me any drinks. Somewhere in her life, she's grateful. You know what I mean? She's real grateful. She don't say it. I don't ask, but I know it's there. You know what I mean? And well, anyway, as the road continued, I had a couple of children. I also found out in Alcoholics Anonymous that alcoholism is a family disease. I always thought that when I drank, I never bothered anybody. I bothered everybody. I bothered people I hadn't even met yet. You know what I'm saying? And I went on my way. You know, I worked every day. No, man, an alcoholic. I'm a workaholic. I'm a chocoholic. I'm just a holic. Everything I do is to the extreme because more is better. You know what I'm saying? And I go to the show with my wife and I get a large popcorn. I don't want to share it. You know what I mean? Get your own. And but anyway, I had a couple of children, and like I said, I went to work every day. I paid my bills. I played Father of the Year. I played Husband of the Year. I did the vacation spiel. I did everything. I thought I was doing everything okay. You know something? I can see today, a few years after putting down a drink, I can see today the mental effect of this disease effect it had on my family. I can see it in my children. I can see it in my wife. You know what I mean? Not that I'm taking their inventory by no means, but I can tell you the damage that I had done mentally by drinking. And but you know something? They also told me in Alcoholics Anonymous, it's not my fault. I pick up a drink and it's not my fault. Okay? My wife didn't buy that. She told me I was full of crap. You know what I mean? And but anyway, somewhere in '93, I had a DUI at 18, that jail sentence I got there. And my second loss of license was in 1993. You know, I decided not to drink hard stuff. I just drank like beer. I figured beer would be safer. You know what I mean? And I was working in Tewksbury, and I was at the Piccadilly pub up there, and somebody slipped me a couple of shots of the Captain. I absolutely loved Captain Morgan. Absolutely loved it. You know what I mean? When it first came around, I was right on it. I should have bought stocks in that thing. And I once wrote to the company, show you the kind of mind I had. I wrote to the company because, you know, nips and things make a lot of noise in the car when they're under your seat. So I figured, no, maybe if they did it in plastic, it would be okay. Well, you know something? They did that. And I really thought they did that because I sent them the letter to do that, okay? But anyway, I took those couple of hits of Captain in Tewksbury, and the next thing I know, I was in the Yankee restaurant in Peabody in a total blackout. Okay? I thank God I didn't kill anybody. And that's the price I paid when I drank. And they opened the door, I poured out, took me to jail. You know, another loss of license again, you know what I mean? Now I had a family. I had a job to get to that I couldn't drive. I had a lot of people help me. You know what I mean? Back then, anything you could do for me, wasn't like I was going to do anything for you in return. See, I used you for what I could get out of you. You know, today if I do something for you, it's because I want to do something. You know what I mean? I got no ill intent. I got nothing underlining what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And so anyway, I put the drink down. You know what I mean? I didn't know about alcoholism or wasm or anything else. I didn't know about anybody in AA. I didn't know anybody in a detox. I never been to a detox. I knew nothing about nothing, okay? Not that like I was sheltered, but I knew nothing about this stuff. And I put the drink down, went on my way. You know, I started making a lot of money. You know what I mean? A couple of years go by, you know, my family's getting like really paying attention. Like, no, Dad's not drinking, you know what I mean? They were getting like real proud of me. I was getting proud of me. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what I did find out by coming to Alcoholics Anonymous. That this disease will find something wrong with you. It'll work on your weakest link. It's like a vicious predator. It's not going to knock on the door and tell you it's coming. It's going to come up the back door right underneath, and that's when it's going to get you. Didn't even know it. 3.5 years without a drink, I picked up. Now I got to tell you something. They say, don't get better. It gets incredibly worse. And it did. And I drank with a vengeance. for the next 3 years, I drank with a vengeance. I wanted to die. I figured the great I am, I can't stay sober. I cannot drink. What's the point? My family was better off with me not being here than being here. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to put a gun to my head. I wasn't going to do any of that stuff. I was just going to go out very slowly. If anybody ever seen the movie Leaving Las Vegas, that's the state of mind I was in. That's where I wanted to be. You know what I mean? I went on a trip to Texas once by myself when I was married. I wanted to have a cold beer because it was hot in Texas. They said the package store was right across the street. I got a shopping carriage. I wanted to make sure I had enough for the 3 days. The 3 days of my trip, the 2 days I was in the hotel room. Started his record. That was the end of the trip. You know what I mean? But anyway, somewhere in 2000, I was going to work one night, and I had a 750, the captain with me. And I said, I'll take a couple of swigs. I'll save the rest for later. Well, you know the story. There is no later. I pick up, it's over. I worked another shift in an entire blackout. Came to with my employer and my boss in the back stoop of where I work at, and one of my coworkers looked at me. He said to me, something, Joe? He says, I can see right through you. It was like nothing left of me. It was like a hollow shell. They drove me home because I couldn't stand up. They took me back to my house. I was dragged up my driveway. My wife telling me what she thought of me. My kids were never lost for words, trust me. Telling me what they thought of me. My neighbors are looking at me. Wives want to know why this happens to you. Why do you do this? You know what I mean? It's not about willpower. You know what I mean? And I justified my reasons for drink. This is my house. I pay the bills. I went back out, guys, and I drank some more. And that was my last drink. It was a nip. Nothing's fancy. You know what I mean? And it got stuck in my throat. Do I spit it out? Do I drink it? I'm an alcoholic. I drank it. When I got home for the first time in all the years I was married, my wife told me, either get some help or get out. And when I haven't got an answer for her, even tonight, when I left the house, I used the word whatever. Because behind the word whatever is bad, not good. Because then the boys want to come out and play. This committee will come out and play. And we don't play nice sometimes. And anyway, I went back to my job, and I learned about humility and humiliation. They're not the same. You know what I mean? And they tried to get me a bed. I went to the Beverly Hospital. They finally got me a bed. And now that I think about this room here, they said you're going to the Danvers detox. Now, I've been on this side of town, guys, 25 years, and I had no idea where this building was. Never knew anybody in here. I'd never been here, never passed by here. You know what I mean? That goes back when the hospital was still here. And sometimes I used to say, yeah, I need a room up there with a window view. You know what I mean? And but anyway, my oldest daughter, who I believe got the blunt of my disease, somebody always pays the price, for when I drank. And well, my wife, my oldest daughter, and I, we took a road trip to the Danvers detox. And I didn't know how to get here, so I stopped into a little store, which is right down the street here. It used to be called Chris's Market. Now it's Giovanni's or something now. And I walked right into the store, like everybody's having lunch and doing the normal spiel. I just blurted out, anybody here, tell me what the Danvers detox is. And a lady in there said to me, she goes, if you wait for me, she goes, I'll show you the way. And I can tell you something, guys, I was still active. And those were the first words I heard in my recovery, and I wasn't even recovered yet. I followed that woman here. When she got out of the car, she hugged me and told me, she goes, that's the biggest step you're ever going to take, Joe, the doorstep. And once again, it was like, whatever. I had no idea why I was coming in here. I didn't know how long I was going to be here. I knew how long I wanted to get out of here. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to hear no commitments. I knew nothing. I was in a state of mocus for 3 days here. I knew nothing in here. I watched my wife and daughter leave crying. That woman left, and I didn't give them a thought. But the guy at the door is what I heard. It's a big part of my recovery, because the guy at the door says, today, Joe, is the day you're going to get a gift. Now, being self-centered like I am, I'm saying, wow, what a great place. I should have came here earlier. I'm thinking a flat screen TV. I'm thinking something really nice. See, I fantasized the drink, so I fantasized this gift for 3 days. I didn't hear nobody in here. All I thought about is that gift. Now I had it wrapped, I had it in a big bow, and I figured it'd be waiting at the door when I got out. Well, I got my first major resentment in Alcoholics Anonymous. This is what I got, guys. I got a meeting list book. And when I looked at it, I said, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? The guy says, Joe, he says, it's like a parachute. If you open it, it'll work. Whatever. I took the book home. I put it on my table when I got home, never gave it a thought, forgot about I was even here. But somewhere in here, and now that I'm sitting here, this is where I came to. This is where I stayed, down the hall for 72 hours. And all I know is somewhere in here, I heard something. I don't know where I heard it. I don't know who I heard it from. But I got that gift. I absolutely got that gift. And that was August of 2000. And I haven't found it necessary to pick up a drink or drug or anything else. Alcohol was my choice of drug, but trust me, I would do anything to change the way I thought and felt, because I never liked the way I thought and felt. And my journey began in Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what I mean? I just followed it. You know what I mean? My first sponsor was a guy I worked for, you know, and I started reading the big book that he gave me. He gave me his big book. I read. You know, he says, highlighted it in yellow, he says, and my whole book was yellow because everything in there I identified with. See, I learned not to compare. See, when they say, well, you know, I haven't gone to this place and I haven't done this and I haven't done that, that's what they refer to as a yes. You're eligible too. I pick up a drink and I might not even make it here. God only knows where I'm going to wind up if I pick up a drink today. You know what I mean? But life is good today. You know what I mean? Is it all I wanted to be? No. Is it good? Absolutely. Okay. In sobriety, I lost my house that I drank away 4 years sober. Had to go rent after 20 years of owning a home. Losses. You know, they talk about mental. There's threefold disease they talk about. You know, that mental obsession, that physical compulsion, that spiritual loss of values. You know what I mean? I lost that house, but I kept going because I knew somewhere in here I was going to be taken care of. You know what I mean? I'm not a churchgoer, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I believe God was taking care of me. Today I don't have a sponsor, but I have a spiritual advisor. And if anyone does want to take a look at my spiritual advisor on my phone, I will show that to you. But that's the person, they say, whatever keeps you sober. Like I said, it's been a good number of years. I have seen both my parents pass away. Both my daughters get married. I've walked them both down the aisle in the same year. There's financial insecurity for you. But I had money to pay for that today. If I was drinking, I probably wouldn't be in the church. You know what I mean? To show you how it works through Alcoholics Anonymous, my daughter got married, and Vladi was the photographer. Okay? And I didn't know him from a hole in the wall before. Goes to show you. I had a whole table. Of Alcoholics Anonymous. All having a hell of a good time without picking up a drink. I've had sober parties at my house. Doesn't matter who you are, just come. You know what I mean? Good times, you know what I mean? You can have fun without drinking. You know, I found that hard to believe, because I believed that I had to have a drink to do everything I did in life. I needed it. You know what I mean? I thought it was giving me stuff, it was just taking stuff away. It's like the big eraser, it took everything away from me. You know what I mean? I'll tell you one thing. I was 12 years sober, and I didn't want any more of Alcoholics Anonymous. I didn't drink, but I wanted relief. See, I'm a relief-seeking missile. I want to find something that makes me feel okay, you know? And I wanted to walk away from Alcoholics Anonymous. I wanted to walk away from a long marriage, my kids. Like I said, I talked about that leaving Las Vegas. Well, that thought entered my head again. You know what I mean? Destination unknown. And unbeknownst to me, my daughter became pregnant. You know, I didn't think anything of it, other than that being a good thing. When her daughter was born, it changed everything. It changed the way I thought. It was like this little person. I was like consumed by this person. You know what I mean? But then again, now when they say, keep all your ducks in a row, Joe, you got to keep the sobriety in number one place. If you don't have sobriety, you've got nothing. Okay? I was putting this child, my granddaughter, in the number one slot. I was getting away from meetings. I was getting irritable, restless, discontent. I wasn't talking to anybody. All the things they taught me I wasn't doing. Then somebody very nicely suggested, know the reason why, Joe, that you are like you are with your granddaughter? She was the first sober relationship in my life. And I was 62 years old. That means girlfriends, and I had a few, wife, daughters, friends, mother, sisters, brothers. I didn't have one sober relationship in my life. Everything in my life was evolved around a drink. Okay? Today it's not. You know what I mean? It's totally just the opposite today. And I have a couple of more grandchildren added to that now. And one on the way in January, which will make 4, which is a good thing. I decided that I was going to make a playroom out of one of the rooms in my house. That's a place where my grandchildren go. They can do whatever the frick they want in there. There's all kinds of toys in there. They can ride bicycles, they can bump in the walls, they can do anything they want in my house. You know what I mean? And they know it too. You know, they come into my house and they'll just blow right by me. And the first place they go, they want to go in that room, they want to play. You know what I mean? But you know what the gift is, guys? Is that when they don't see me, they come and get me by the hand and say, Grampy, come on, let's go and play. Because that's what I do today. I show up today. I'm accountable for my actions. You know what I mean? If somebody wants me to do something, I'm there. And I can't ask for more. You know what I mean? Like I said, your paperwork didn't get messed up. You guys got here for a reason. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, somebody cared for you, man. Somebody really loves you and cares for you that got you here. What you do with it is your choice. They said that your misery can be funded at the door. You know what I mean? You pick up again, you may not get through these doors. You know what I mean? This disease kills. Absolutely kills. You know what I mean? Like Clint Eastwood said, you're feeling lucky? I mean, you're feeling lucky? Give it a shot. What's your life worth today? I know what my life's worth today. You know what I mean? I got a few things in my life. They say that I have to have acceptance in my life. There's not a lot of things in my life that I accept. You know what they said? You're going to accept everything, but you don't have to like everything. And I got something going on in my life that's really close to me. That they say I should pray for people that are sicker than others. I cannot pray for this person because I have ill intent. You know, they say in time that'll pass, but I don't think it's going to pass. You know what I mean? The person has done me wrong. And because of my granddaughter, I overlooked this crap. You know what I mean? And but trust me, everybody pays a price for the things they do. And my daughter will pay a price. Trust me, she will pay a price for that. How did Michael Corleone say in The Godfather? Nothing personal, guys, strictly business. You know what I mean? In the end, that's what it's going to be. But for now, I mean, I got my grandson and my granddaughter tomorrow. I got my granddaughter on Thursday. I'm back with the other 2 on Friday. Can't get enough. It's just like little people. Little people that ask nothing of me. Just me. You know what I mean? And I show up for that. And so I know that my daughters and my wife and my grandchildren somewhere, they'll say this is a family disease. It skips a generation. But I don't push that on anybody. You know what I mean? But my hand's always out there to help. My daughter, I say it because she's not here, came through here after I was sober a couple of years. She started hanging around with the wrong people. My mothers always say you're judged by the people you hang around with. I watched a girl that loved to go to school to a girl that went down the toilet in a quick hurry. You know what I mean? Long story, they say a long story longer. I threw her out of my house. My wife said to me, how can you do that? You know what you did. It's not about what I did yesterday. It's about what I did today. You know what I mean? See, that's like, she says crap like that to me, which she doesn't say anymore. It just bounces off me today. And my daughter came back home and we brought her here. And then she picked up when she was in here. And they were going to throw her out. And I came here. And I told them, I will do whatever it takes to help her. I can't get anybody sober. I can't get anybody drunk. But she came in here. I can tell you guys, I don't know where I got the money for her dose every day. It was a C note to hit. I don't even know where I got the money. But I kept dishing it out, Today, my daughter's very successful at her job. She's really good. You know what I mean? Just the way it happens. Didn't happen because of me. I just showed up. You know what I mean? But I'll give you an example of how God works through people. And I honestly believe God works through people, and I'll leave it with this. After she was kind of like straightened out a little bit, she got a phone call. It was a blizzard outside. And she said to me, Dad, she goes, there's a couple of friends of hers that need to get to here. Their parents didn't want to take them because they didn't want anybody to know that their kids were like addicts. You know what I mean? My first response to my daughter was, My wife, my wife compares. I go, oh, she gives you that look like she doesn't understand, because she doesn't. See, my wife's got 52 cars in her deck. I got 51. See, I got a chip missing. See, I'm a mental defective. That's just the way I'm wired. You know what I mean? The reason why I'm still married this long, because she loves to tell me what to do and I don't want to listen. Okay? So that's why it works. But anyway, I told her, get your coat. Got in the car. It was a blizzard. Got in the car. We picked him up. We drove him over there. I had a nice little meeting while I was in there. That's why it's nice to do commitments, because you got a meeting on the way up there, you get one when you're there, and you get one on the way back. You know what I mean? And the kid was so grateful that he wanted to give me money. I said, no, son. You want to do something for me? Buy me a coffee. Coffee works for me today. Because I drink coffee now instead of drinking alcohol. You know what I mean? Hey, I found something else to be addicted to. You know what I mean? But at least I wake up in the morning, I know where I've been, and I can account for my actions. But anyway, we took him here, and we left. Never gave it a thought after that. I had to go to a lawyer one day for legal business, not court business. And I got there to the desk, and I told the girl who I was, and she goes, don't you remember me? I had no idea who this person was. She goes, I was the girl that you drove in the car to the Davis detox. There she is, a paralegal today. I mean, not that I'm no great gift to God that I helped it. I mean, that's just somebody that passed away, just passed through her life. It's all like that woman that passed through my life at the sub shop that day. I mean, God works through people. You know what I mean? I truly got a gift. You know what I mean? And sometimes I take it for granted. Like, something. I go to meetings to find out what happens to people that don't go to meetings. And it works, guys. It works. So when you get out of here, when you get out of here, just give it a shot. One thing you got to lose is your life. We'll end with the Lord's Prayer, guys.